There are days when I walk into my living room and just stop. Not because it's a disaster, but because my eyes don't know where to land. Everything feels like too much. The baskets I meant to sort. The shoes that never made it back to the closet. Even the decor I once loved starts to feel like visual noise. And underneath it all, this quiet thought, why does my space never feel finished? Not clean, not calm, just always unsettled. If that sounds familiar, I want to offer you something small today. Not a full transformation, just 7 gentle shifts that made my space and my mind feel less heavy. This isn't about minimalism. It's about making room for rest, for clarity, for yourself. And we'll begin with one of the most surprising changes I made, one that felt like subtraction, but turned out to be the most powerful kind of addition. Some homes feel heavy not because they're dirty, but because there's no space for the eye to rest. Every surface holds something. Every wall has just one more frame. And even when everything is technically in its place, it still feels loud. Here's the shift that helped me breathe again. Leave some spaces intentionally empty, not neglected, not unfinished, just empty on purpose. I stopped trying to complete every corner. The wall in our hallway, I left it blank. The coffee table. Just one tray with a candle and the remote, that's it. Even in the kitchen, I cleared the counter and now only leave the coffee maker out. At first it felt odd, like I hadn't finished decorating, but slowly I noticed how my body relaxed in those blank spaces. It's like giving your brain a pause button, visual silence. And here's the best part, it costs nothing. You're not adding. You're subtracting and letting that subtraction add value. Let's move to the next tip. Because once you have empty space, what you do keep matters even more. And if this idea of less is more speaks to you, wait until you hear what I'm sharing in tomorrow's video. It's called From Chaos to Calm, How to Declutter Your Home Effectively. And it goes deeper not just into what to let go of, but how to finally make peace with the mess you've been avoiding. If you've ever stood frozen in the middle of a room thinking, I don't even know where to start, that one is for you. Trust me, don't miss it. You know that feeling when you've technically cleaned the room but it still looks busy? Like your eyes are darting from one thing to the next, trying to make sense of it all. That's visual clutter. And it wears you down even if the space is technically clean. One shift that helped me a lot was this group things together intentionally and visually. Not by shoving them in a drawer, but by anchoring them. I started using trays, small dishes, and even hardcover books to frame little groupings. So instead of a candle, a remote, and a coaster floating around the coffee table, I placed them all on a wooden tray. Suddenly they looked like a set, a choice, not leftovers. On my bathroom counter, I use a small plate to hold my skincare bottles. In the entryway, keys and lip balm go in one little bowl. It's not fancy, it's not aesthetic perfection, but it creates a sense of order, one that my brain can process quickly and calmly. The magic here is that you're not getting rid of stuff. You're just giving the things you do use a little structure so they don't float around your space like noise. And there's a bonus when you group things, it's easier to clean. One tray to lift, one plate to wipe under. Done. Now that we've gathered the necessary things into calm little zones, let's talk about the unnecessary stuff and how to keep it from creeping back in. Some clutter hides in plain sight. It's not the pile of laundry or the overflowing basket, it's the tangled mess behind your TV. The charger that's always halfway plugged in. The extension cord curling around your nightstand like it lives there. I used to ignore those. They felt normal, part of modern life. But the day I cleared the cords from my desk area, I swear my brain felt quieter. It was like my space finally exhaled. Here's what I do now. Tidy the cords even if it's just a little. You don't need to buy anything fancy. I've used bread clips, rubber bands, even washi tape. Anything that helps bundle and hide. For the kitchen speaker, I tied the excess cord and tucked it behind a vase. By the bed, I stuck a small hook under the nightstand to hold my phone charger out of sight. Behind the TV, I fed cords through the back of the media cabinet, out of view but still reachable. It's not about perfection. It's about reducing visible chaos. Because every cord you see is like a whisper reminding you of tasks, tech, and tension. When you clear them out of sight, the room feels softer, more yours. And when the visual noise goes down, the real kind does too. Let's keep that quiet going in the next tip. We'll make sure every item has a home so it stops wandering across your floor. There's a certain kind of mess that creeps in quietly. It's not chaos. It's little things that never seem to land anywhere. A receipt on the dining table, a hair tie on the bathroom sink, that one reusable bag that's always somewhere but never where you need it. If it doesn't have a home, it'll wander. And if it wanders, it multiplies. Until suddenly you're surrounded by stuff in transit and no clue how it got there. What changed everything for me was this idea: every single item needs a landing place. Not a for now spot, a real intentional home. In our entryway, we have a bowl for keys, a hook for bags, a drawer labeled just for chargers and headphones. When I get paperwork in the mail, it goes straight into a binder already divided into tabs. Even the glue stick and masking tape have a clear bin inside the cabinet. Because if I don't make space for it, it'll make space for itself, usually on the table I just cleared. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be consistent. You're not aiming for perfection, you're building a habit. This belongs here. And when everything has a place to return to, you don't have to clean, you just put things back. Now that we've created homes for what we keep, let's talk about how to make those items even gentler on the eyes. Starting with color. Sometimes a room doesn't feel messy, but it still feels restless. Your eyes bounce from one thing to the next: red box, yellow bin, blue blanket patterned tray. Even when everything's in place, it still feels like visual static. What helped me shift was this idea: let your home tell a softer story through color. You don't have to go neutral. You don't need to repaint. But simplifying the color palette even a little can change the whole energy of a space. In our living room, I started with just one thing: the storage baskets. They used to be a mix of leftover bins, green plastic, a pink one from our daughter's room, a metal one that didn't match anything. So I swapped them out for 2 canvas baskets in the same tone. Nothing fancy, just similar. And suddenly the room looked calmer, like it exhaled. Now I try to carry that same idea across shelves and surfaces. When I choose trays, pillow covers, or even labels on jars, I lean into tones that repeat. It's not about design, it's about reducing noise. You can still have color. You can still have warmth. But when the colors talk to each other, your brain doesn't have to work so hard. And when your brain isn't working overtime just to process a room, you feel more grounded in it, like it's truly supporting you. Speaking of support, let's move to the one habit that helps me maintain all of this with barely any effort each day. There's something about the end of the day. You're tired, you've given everything to everyone, and the last thing you want is to do more. But walking into a messy kitchen or stepping over toys in the living room that steals your rest before it even begins. So here's the habit that saved my sanity. Spend just 10 minutes restoring order before bed. I don't mean deep cleaning. I mean the lightest kind of reset. Dishes from the drying rack go into the cupboard. Toys back into their baskets. Mail stacked, not scattered. Bags hung up. Pajamas laid out. Done. It's not about creating a spotless house. It's about helping tomorrow you wake up in a space that feels possible. This tiny ritual became my transition from doing all day to letting go. Some nights I even set a timer: 10 minutes, that's it. It's not for my guests. It's not for perfection. It's for me. And on mornings when I forget or skip it, I feel it. The weight, the noise, the scramble. So if your days blur into each other and you're always playing catch-up, this is your pause button. One quiet act of care for your space and for yourself. Now let's talk about one last place that deserves that same kind of care: the surface you see before sleep and the first thing you see when you wake. There's a moment right before you fall asleep when your eyes wander, and often they land on the little pile you meant to sort: a half-read book, lotion bottle, phone charger, tissues, a receipt, maybe even a snack wrapper from 2 nights ago. It seems small, but it speaks loudly. That clutter is the last thing your brain sees before shutting down, and it can make your rest feel unfinished. What changed this for me was a quiet habit. Keep your nightstand clear, or at least contained. We're lucky to have drawers, so I tuck most things away. But even before that, I used a small basket with a lid. Phone charger, lip balm, bookmark all went inside. On top, just a small lamp and 1 glass of water. Not for show, not for Instagram, just so my brain could let go without that visual reminder of more decisions waiting. And in the morning, it's the first surface I see. And starting the day with one space already clear somehow makes the rest of the day feel more doable. So if you're struggling to keep your room calm, start with this one surface. Let it be your daily reset point. A tiny anchor of order before the day ends or just as it begins. Now that we've cleared space in your home and in your head, I'll wrap up with a soft reminder and a next step that doesn't pressure, only supports. Ready for the close. You don't need to overhaul your whole home. Sometimes just one small change, one clear counter, one empty corner is enough to start breathing easier. If even one of these shifts helps you feel a little more at ease in your space, then that's already enough. Because peace doesn't come from perfection, it comes from moments that feel like yours again. And if you're looking for more gentle ways to clear space, not just in your home, but in your head, I have a video where we go room by room with tiny habits that make things easier without adding more to your plate. If this video supported you, feel free to like it. It helps me know what's actually useful for you. And if you'd like more calm, honest content like this, you're always welcome to subscribe. Your space doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind to you. And speaking of being kind to yourself, the next video is one I genuinely hope you won't skip. From chaos to calm, how to declutter your home effectively. It's not just tips, it's the mindset shift that helped me stop fighting my home and start feeling at home again. If there's one video to come back for, it's this one. Set a reminder. I'll be right here when you're ready.